Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about or recap you guys on My Hero Academia episode 110, or you could call it My Hero Academia 5th season on episode 22. This episode adapted chapters 229 to 232, and I thought I thought it was pretty nicely done, and looks like to me like it seemed to be much more alive compared to the last episode. Last episode, it felt like it was not a lot of effort put into it, but I did some research here and there that some guy said don't credit me for this because it looks like to me it's not really the effort I wish I could have put it into. But that aside, let's just get this started. We got to see Twice being overwhelmed by the copies that he didn't make, etc. And we get to know more about his backstory, We have to it that he is the guy that kind of lost his family, at a very young age, and he had to work. He had to work very hard, he got into trouble by hitting a man with the motorcycle, but eventually the cops go well, you may still have a criminal record, but even if you take a wrong step, you can always turn your life around. Just understand that. Unfortunately, that did not become the case, as his boss punches him and beats him physically for hurting one of our top clients whatsoever, And you know what? You're nothing but bad luck. Get the hell out, And yeah, we get to know more about Twice's backstory of how his parents died when he was in middle school and he got mixed up into villainous activity, that kind of thing. And eventually, Twice will later on make a clone of himself just to talk to someone, And it's kind of sad in a certain way that he's talking to himself, but it's kind of understandable because this guy, his life has turned into a nasty obstacle. Think about it for a sec, he freaking lost his parents, and not to mention his job or something, because he made one accident, and then he was obeying the speed limit whatsoever, and his boss became a total donkey's butt whatsoever, and yeah. Eventually, he made a lot of clones of himself to make things easier. He does robberies and all that, you get the idea. But unfortunately, because of that, he lost the ability to trust himself, and that's the reason why he wears a mask or a certain bag over his head just to talk to Giron, etc. And we have too that this guy, Giron, says, hey, your power is really pretty terrifying, So, how about it? You find people that might help you out. And eventually, Twice will later on try to save Toga-chan, but unfortunately gets overwhelmed by skeptics or whatever that guy's name's quirk is of the living. His arms broke, etc., which sounded really like it hurt. So that at least they did a nice job there. But here's where the real thing begins, is where Twice's true power comes into play, saying, it's about time I show you how terrifying my power can really be, you jerks. And later on, we get to know about Twice's ability, about how it works. He can turn one thing into two, but unfortunately he couldn't he can't seem to manipulate the freaking quirk destroying bullets here and there, that kind of thing. And we have to it that Twice's ability of quirks, finally comes into play, and it's called Sad Man's Parade whatsoever. Sad Man's Parade whatsoever, Or you could call it Unlimited Twice Works whatsoever, He makes a lot of doubles of himself, and he overwhelms his enemy with with numbers, And at least the freaking anime did a little bit better of putting detail into the scene of Twice's freaking unlimited works whatsoever, And I thought it was pretty nice. I thought it was nicely done right there, showing off his ability. While Skeptic was told by Redestro that he failed kind of thing, but he said, no way, this is just a setback. I only failed once in my life whatsoever. I'm like, oh, shut up. I don't want to hear it from you. But that aside, we continue on with the scene where Dabi continues to fight against Gelatin, or that ice controlling user whatsoever. And Twice's clones show up to help Compress and Dabby out, you know? And we get to see freaking Gelatine using a freaking AoE attack pretty in a very devastating mean, you know? Etc. So pretty much, you know, as Twice's unlimited power whatsoever is really dangerous here and there, it's still like very, very weak. However, when you're facing against an unlimited number that keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on non-stop without any like repercussions or something, you know, and non-stop whatsoever, you understand that freaking like that's gonna be hard to take out. But unless you have a freaking crazy AoE attack or something, you may be able to possibly manage. But you know, as for Dabby's Twice against the freaking ice controlling user whatsoever, you know, we get to see too that this guy brags about the quality how quirks are, you know, etc. And it means if you power up, you mean survival, and you don't have a very strong ability. Why bother living? And Dabby's like, oh, just shut up and die, you know. And the guy ends up actually figuring out Twice's weak. I mean, the ice controlling user. Sorry, I don't know why I almost called Twice. That was my mistake. He ends up telling Dabby like, "Hey, man, I can see the weakness on your body right now. It's starting to burn up a bit, man. I mean, like, you're not really looking great. You're not even looking great right now, aren't you? You know, that kind of thing." Eventually, we have to it that that the doctor, you know, that works for All For One, you know, ends up calling Makia, says this is really bad if y'all died there, and he ends up having to like send a message to Makia saying your master successor is in trouble and is working hard at the expense of his sleep, and that's when Gigan ends up having to like run to him saying master successor, you know, that kind of thing. Then we have to it that he runs over there, etc., you know, and so forth. But as the episode continues on, you know, we have to it that Dabby continues his fight, and Spinner and Tomer and Shigaraki continues their like the freaking rampage or something to try to like reach the freaking final stage, you know, or where the boss is at, etc., you know, that kind of thing. But you know, as they say, you know, when you get closer to where the boss is, there's more obstacles in the way, and that's what Shigaraki and freaking like Spinner are like confronting right now. But eventually, we have to it that Twice's clone shows up with Shigaraki and Spinner right now, and does the best to help out, you know. And we have to it that like Shigaraki asked Twice to open up a path to the tower, you know. I mean, right now, like, I'm leaving the fight in your hands, but they can't die yet. They need to, like, they might end up having, they need to be left for Gigan to take over, you know, that kind of thing. And we have to it that, like, that even freaking like Spinner's like, man, at this point, can we leave it to Twice now? Because the way how he looks at his ability, how he's able to multiply non-stop, you know, in terms of numbers, is actually pretty scary. And of course, like Shigaraki's like, yeah, he likes Giran Ray too much, and Shigaraki's like, I'm not gonna forgive you, you damn stupid Liberation Army, you know, that kind of thing. And we have to it, of course, like this guy, whatever his name is, shows up and makes a speech about something, and all of a sudden the other guys seem to like, the other people seem to be like motivated or like hyped up to like go kick some butt out there, you know. But even Spinner takes notice of this. Like every time he makes a certain speech or his rallies or something, like every single citizen seems to be fired up or like excited to like and keep going, you know. And we have to it that that Twice's clone shows up and continues to make clones of his own to like take care of the boss of the Liberation Army. And then of course there's some funny like freaking like copies of Shigaraki, Dabi, and Compress, you know, that kind of thing, you know, etc. And then some funny moments, and we get to see Destro's power right here, you know. And it looks like to me of course, like he would easily defeat Twice the clones easily because they're not the original, you know, that kind of thing. But we have to it that like as the episode continues on, we get to see like that that this guy, the Liberation Army boss or something like that, says like he's technically a member, and I never plan to kill on Giron, you know. However, if you multiply, I won't hesitate. We have to it that like that they tried to like attack the Liberation boss, you know. But unfortunately, we get to see Redestro's arm turn very big and ends up having to like swap them all aside like no problem whatsoever, you know. But thanks to like the clone twice making one last clone to try to like help out Giran, you know, that was pretty cool. And we have to it that like that Giran ends up explaining to apologizing to them about like about being a failure as a broker whatsoever. And we have to it that Shigaraki ends up showing up to try to like hit Giran, you know, but unfortunately for him, this guy ends up having to dodge it whatsoever, you know. He ends up making a speech about his own past, you know, like or maybe a story, you know, like once upon a time a woman gave birth to a child with special abilities. At that time the world was still chaotic, replete with like freaking meta abilities whatsoever. In a faint whisper, the woman denounced such a world. This is my child's quirk. All I wish is for a world where he could live freely. Her voice drowned in the midst of sneers of the world, you know, that kind of thing. And we have to it that like Redestro or something, which his name is later on revealed, you know. He calls himself freaking Redestro about being the child of inheriting Destro's like blood in his veins, you know. So pretty much he calls himself Redestro, you know. His real name is Redestro, and ends up having to like grab Shigaraki and ends up talking to him, saying like, does your ragtag group of hoodlums with nothing but destruction in their minds think about their ambitions could outweigh ours, huh? Etc. And we have to it that that Shigaraki tells twice, like, if you're gonna protect Giran, make a cushion, you hear me? Because right now he's here, he's definitely gonna touch the tower. And the real Shigaraki that like that was approaching the tower, so what Redestro has been fighting all this time was actually like the copy of Shigaraki. And we have to it that Shigaraki, the real Shigaraki, crumbles the tower in dust, and we have to it Shigaraki's like, okay, let's do this, man, I'm about to whoop your butt right now. And even freaking like Redestro's like, you know what, looks like I won't be able to get a chance to hear your answer at all this time. So overall, now getting to my thoughts, you know, not too bad of an episode, you know. They did, like I said and repeating myself, they adapted chapters 229 to 232, and this time the art and animation seems to be a little bit more lively, you know. Although like thought it could still a little be better, I thought it could still be a little better here and there, etc. And I'm hoping that they could still try to get one scene adapted somehow, but like I guess that may not be happening at all. But I guess it is what it is. Whatever the case may be, I guess that's how they roll, and that's a mistake they'll have to live with. But whatever. So overall, like I said, the episode was okay. They adapted chapters 229 to like 232. Although there were some scenes from a certain chapter that came to a different episode, you know, and that is the scene with Hawks, you know, that kind of thing. You get the idea. But that aside, not too bad. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.